in each to the circumstances of the exile is the tetragrammaton, the name with the four letters. So, on one hand, we have the land of Canaan versus Egypt. And in the land of Canaan, we have three names: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Where in the land of Egypt, we have Moses. Where in the land of Canaan, the name which is working or the relationship is being made through the name El Shaddai. But in the land of Egypt, the relationship with Moses is through or via the name Tetragrammaton or being. This is just to serve the question. And and also there's another question that is between, and then I will go through this verse that Fernando was introducing to us. In a way, we have a problem. Also, the Zohar, and due to Fernando's question, I was searching in the Zohar, search engine today. But we have seen through our lessons that the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, also have in their name the value of the tetragrammaton. So this is what, in a way, Rabbi Elazar asks his father, Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Elazar asks the following, and this is a deep story, so I will tell it very, very slowly that we shall encompass this large discussion. Rabbi Elazar says the following: why does the Bible in Exodus 6 in the burning bush conversation says to Moses, Va'era, and I was seen to the fathers, so and so and so, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob under the name El Shaddai. Why does the Bible uses the term I was seen when the focus of Rabbi Elazar is on the verb to see? Rabbi Elazar asks why I why the Bible does not write the following, and I was speaking with Abraham, with Jacob, and with Isaac. Why does the Bible chooses the verb to see and not to speak? And Rabbi Shimon says, my son, because this is his son, he says, my son, you ask a very deep question. This is the first comment of Rabbi Shimon. This is a very deep question. What is the difference between seeing and speaking? And to make it like in a way appropriate to catch, I was taking the course of the values of the letters. Va'era, I was seen to the fathers. Va'era is written with 4 letters. Vav, Aleph, Resh, Aleph. I was seen. And the value of Va'era is 208. 208. If we're taking the 0 outside of this number, because 0 is not a number, 0 is nothing, we are left with 28. 28 is a moon cycle. And the moon is associated with the heavenly kingdom, with Malchut, through the actions, through the seasons, because we have everything which is related to this circle of the moon has to do with weeks, 4 weeks. 4 double 7 is 28, and we have the tide, high water, low water, and so on. Also, the moon is associated, as Fernando says, with the doing. So Here we have interesting perspective. I was saying to the Father, the communication with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was through, so to speak, the moon, the cycle of the 28. Also, if there is no light of the moon at night, we cannot see. This is one distinction about Va'era. Va'era, I was seeing. 208 without a zero, it's 28. This is referring to the moon or to the Malchut or to the doing, making. So now, if we take the other verb that Rabbi Elazar asked about, to speak, daber, daber, ledaber, to speak. If we take those three letters, Daled, Bet, Resh, we are coming at 206. 206 again, without a zero is 26. 26 is the value of the tetragrammaton, the hidden name of God, the being. So, interestingly, the verb to speak has to do with a revelation of the hidden. And this is why, in a way, the communication with Moses was higher.
Amazing, it. It is so just trying to connect the ideas. I ask sorry for Andre. My pen is not working today
It's
properly
okay. It's
because
okay.
I am
Oh,
at the office and my PC here is not working so well. So it the idea is that the three patriarchs has a relationship with the higher from the moon side. Is that right? From
yes,
the
yes,
28. That is a cycle
yes,
of the moon.
yes.
That is all the holidays, all the things that is related with the
With
cycle
the
of the moon,
time.
with the
Yes, with the
heavens.
time. With the time. Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
And Moses had a relationship beyond time. That
Yeah,
is that is with the word. That
yes, yes.
is very
Because this is interesting, because very good. The question of Rabbi Elazar was in its place, because we can see, seeing is a conditional thing. Yes, it's hard to see at night, but the word is unconditional, and being is unconditional as well. So, do you see the relation between them?
yes. Thank you.
Also, the Zohar says the following, what we discussed also in class. How can it be that the patriarch did not know the tetragrammaton? This is the question that we asked 2 days ago, because in each and every one of those names, the value of the tetragrammaton is hiding. Abraham is 9-time tetragrammaton, Isaac is 8-time tetragrammaton, and Jacob is 7 times tetragrammaton. So there is a relation to the tetragrammaton, like you show in the verse of Genesis 12. There is a relation. They they have the name, but the communication, and this is the word that you chose to open the discussion. The communication is in the realm of the moon, so to speak, the conditional, and the communication with Moses is unconditional. Is through, like we say, through the word. If we don't know, we cannot speak. The most complex action that we are able to do is speaking. The fact that humans can speak, this is the most complex system because it unites everything. Yes,
So it's amazing everything that you are saying, because if, like what you said about conditional and unconditional relationship, we can think that the festivals, the holidays, it's a conditional because it's placed in, is set in time and space,
yes,
even reflecting something that is higher, that is beyond time and space. But maybe uh, from and this is necessary. All the holidays, everything is necessary for an stage. But maybe when you got the idea of Moses, that is the Moses, he did not needed more uh, the time and space, because every second is a relationship with the higher. Every
yes,
conversation is a relationship with the higher.
yes. Yes, I could say even more to add to what you were saying. I can add the following: that the holidays were given to them only after the golden calf. In the beginning, they came. Okay, there was Exodus, and they waited 7 weeks, and they stood next to the mountain, and they received the divine logos. Yes, but for 40 days after, they did not wait, and they did the golden calf, and Moses went to the mountain to ask forgiveness, and he came with the second how do you say, boards that he wrote himself, something that fits time and space. And because they were not ready for the timeless, so all the holidays is a consequence of the golden calf, everything.
Thank you.
If there
I
yes, if there
understood.
was not, yes, yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yes. Sorry,
Hello, hello.
sorry that I interrupt your line of
No, no.
thinking, but is that came a spark, and I understood perfectly.
Yes, yes, but it's just that I see names that are coming, and I try to speak to you and to see, to communicate also on the board of Twitter. So also with me, there's like sometimes I look and sometimes I speak. So this question is sorted, or also this another perspective, just to embed it, your question in facts. The three patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are buried where? In the cave of Machpelah in Hebron, yes, in the land of Canaan, west to the Jordan River. There is a location. Everybody who wants to visit now can go. Google Earth will give us the right map, and we can find the location, and we can visit the patriarchs. This is what people do here from time to time. But just to make, how do you say, to to indicate how your comment was right. Moses, we don't know the place of his burial. Nobody knows. The last thing that we hear is that he went up to Mount Nebo, Har HaAvarim, the transmission mountain, and nobody knows his burial. It's not for nothing that in a way we have two pictures here. The moon, so to speak, or time and space in Hebron, there's a location. East to the Jordan River, there is no location. Like timeless has no location. Something that is beyond time is also doesn't have a location as well. Does it make any sense?
Yes, it's amazing. We cannot, and like you said, this week was Mount Nebo came often, so and Nebo gives 58.
Yes,
That is the same numbers from him. That is
yes,
grace, and we can find also Chochmanista, the
yes,
hidden wisdom. So Moses is
yeah,
hidden. We cannot know where he's buried.
yes, yes,
It's above time and space, right? It's
yes,
this.
yes. Thank you. Other questions or impressions? Jill, Shelton, we have a new friend here. Letter N. This is the only thing that I can see.
I have a question.
Yes,
Okay, I'm trying to understand. Okay, so, the patriarchs, um, you said they are with, um, the moon cycle. I guess I'm just trying to figure this out in my
yes,
head, even how to word it. But,
yes,
so they're the patriarchs, but Moses isn't a patriarch.
yes. He's not. He's not.
Okay.
He's not a patriarch. No, he's not. Also, please pay attention 1 second to the fact that pater, father, father, father and a son. We know the term in English, father and son.
Mhm.
Father and son can be manifested, the relation can be manifested where? In time. Do you understand the thought, the logos behind it?
Mhm. Okay.
So the land of Canaan is associated with the moon, with the patriarchs, with the relations of father and son. Or causal thinking, causal, how we call it? Mm,
Yes, causal
yes,
thinking. Yes,
causal thinking. But Moses, it's free, it's freedom. There's no fathers, no patriarch relations. Yes, and then this is lateral thinking. Lateral thinking. Also, land of Canaan and the moon and patriarchs and fathers and the son and the institution and the freedom, Moses and the son, and so open-minded.
Okay. Thank you. I think I got it.
Questions? Moses, what Moses bring is what the Zohar names in Aramaic mochin de cherut, uh, a free spirit-minded person.
may I ask you a question? It's
Mhm.
in the structure from Weinreb. He says that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob mirrors the 3 days of creation, the three first days of creation. Do you
Yes.
remember?
Yes, yes, because this is the three first spheres. Yes, Chesed, yes, Gevurah and Tiferet. They have, yes, yes, of course. Yes,
And in this, under this layer, how could we say about Moses? What does Moses represent in the tree of life or in relationship with the days of creation?
According to what we have learned, um, um, Saturday. There's another question. One second. I see. One second. One second, Fernando. One second. Moses died or moved from the world at Saturday afternoon, the time between a Saturday afternoon and the evening, meaning when we leave the seventh day to the eighth day, the morning of the eighth day. Does it make any sense? I will try to portray this. Uh, do you understand the the concept, Fernando?
Yes.
So, if the fathers or the patriarch are associated with one, two, three, let's say, Moses is associated with the eighth day when it's Saturday night, because Saturday is the seventh day. And when the seventh day is leaving, so we have the birth of the eighth day. Yes? And what happens if Jacob is the third day? He's like three. And we add to the three the five, the letter Hey, which associated with the generation of Moses, the last day of the Tetragrammaton. 3 plus 5 is the 8. This is a lateral thinking. So, Saturday night in Aramaic, it's not night, it is the dusk. You know, the dusk, the sunset time. The Aramaic of the Zohar call this specific time Ra'ava de Ra'avin, the will of wills. This is a very high point when the 7 melts into the 8. And this is the time that Moses left, so to speak. Did I answer your question? Fernando?
So Moses was had left in Erev. It is that right?
In the evening, meaning at Saturday night, I say Saturday, Shabbat, because when the Shabbat is leaving, because in Shabbat, in the seventh day, we don't have evening. Every day of the week, we have Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker, and there was evening and there was morning one day and second. And so in this structure, we have 6 days, double 2, this is 12, and then we have the Shabbat. The Shabbat does not have evening, so the Shabbat is the 13th day, love. But when the Shabbat is leaving, it is Saturday afternoon. There is a birth of the 8th day or of the 14th day. 1 to 4, the mist. Does it make any sense?
Yes.
Yes?
He stands in the eternity.
Yeah, very good, very good. This is also why the circumcision of baby boys, according to the Hebrew tradition, is in the 8th day after the cross Shabbat. You know, this is it. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of thinking. The circumcision is in the 8th day. To cross Sheva, Sheva is 7, Shabbat, Sheva, Saturday. Sheva is also Teva. Teva is nature. To cross the circumstances of time, the conditional. So the circumcision is in the 8th day. This is why the Bible or the sources are saying that Moses was born circumcised, mahul. What does it mean, mahul? If we divide the word mahul into two words, we have ma lo. Ma, the value of ma is 45, like Adam. Lo, he has the spirit of Adam, the one who walked with God. After 26 generation, he was born circumcised, unconditional. This is what it means that he was born and how to say yes, he was born circumcised. He's not conditional like human. He's above time and space. This is why when his mother Yocheved gave birth to him, and she saw Vatere oto ki tov. She saw that the baby is what? Ki tov, like what the Genesis say about the light, Genesis 1. She looks at the baby and she says ki tov. And ki tov, Genesis say about the light was good. Does it make any sense, Fernando?
Yes, it's because um, let's try to bring it from to within. Let's say
Mhm.
I can remember your podcast on Zohar.
Yes,
The because we need to give birth to our soul, right?
yes,
And when we give birth to our soul, this birth is above time and space. This soul, it's already in other plan, and it's born
yes.
circumcised because it doesn't have a body. It
Excellent,
is
excellent.
so. It makes me wonder it because it's a process to create a soul, and we pass through a lot of moments and a lot of experiences to make it come to life.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if all this experience that we pass through to create a soul stands beyond time and space. I don't know if make any sense, but
It is very good. The experience is like shadows or like curtains that if we see behind the curtains of the experience, the soul. This is the meaning of the experience. What we perceive here in our experience sometimes as a shadow is just on the other side is expression of light. So the soul is existing, is eternal. So what does it mean to give birth to the soul, like you ask? So that we evacuate more darkness from ourselves, like coal miner. We evacuated our self-importance and so on, all those things, egoism, egocentricity. We evacuated those parts, and then there is a space for the soul to dwell. This is how we give birth to the soul, because the experience or the body or our senses are always overshadowing the existing or denying the existence of the soul. The name of the river in Egypt, in Hebrew, Nilus, in English, Nile or the Nile. The river of the time always denial the existing or the existence of the soul. Like the water, they deny the fire, that opposite element. So, what does it mean to give birth to the soul? This is a very good question. Just to give it a space, because the soul is unconditional. But since we are conditional, we have body, all of us, and we are manifested in time and space. So if we take away, I mean, remove, and every day uh, what we think about ourselves or what we think life is, we remove those shells. So we see that what is shining inside is this the divine soul. Does it make any sense?
A lot. It's amazing. Somebody's asking how is written the soul in Hebrew.
One
What
second.
kind of soul we are giving birth? I think it's proper to imply these ideas.
Yes. Okay. Here, one second, Fernando. There is another question on WhatsApp. One second. I need to read it. Where is it? There was a question and it disappeared. I don't see. Oh, okay. What is the Hebrew word for soul? Neshama. Neshama is the Hebrew word for a soul. Neshama. 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 Yes. Yes, Fernando, can you ask again?
You said that everything that happens here, it is the word you used was very good. It was like a shadow from what happens in the eternal realm.
Mhm.
And it makes me remember that the man was created B'Tselem Elohim, and B'Tselem it's image of God, but could be shadow as well, right?
Mhm.
So I was just thinking that is on the Bible, this idea of the shadow, that
Mhm. Mhm.
that we do not see the real thing.
Yes, we see only part, one side, one side of life. Sometimes in moments, like Weinreb said, there is like a lounging, you know, like because the line or the curtain that shows us only the manifested, it has another side, the eternal. And sometimes there are moments in life that we come, that there's like relations, the the how do you say, the manifested and the eternal are one. There are moments in the day, depends of how lucid the moment is, but it's possible to, like Weinreb says, that in the manifested we can also experience the eternal, and what he says, the mystical. It is possible as well. There was a question on WhatsApp and it disappeared. Yes, I see Marcus. Marcus, what is more important, a man or what Elohim taught? taught through. Marcus, can you elaborate your question? It's not clear. And we are not judging. Can you ask the question again, please, Marcus? Yes, Fernando?
No, it's excellent for me. We have Shelton, Kevin is here also, Jill.
Thank you,
Please.
because I, I see few screens at the same time. 1 second, I'll open it. Yes, thank you. Here is Kevin. Kevin, you are invited to speak, and Shelton, also you have invitation. Hello.
Hello,
Hello, Kevin. Can you hear us?
I can. Good morning.
Good morning. How do you do?
Doing well. Thank you.
Hmm. So, Jill, Fernando, Shelton, and Kevin, questions or impressions?
I don't have any questions at this time, Auntie. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I may, I just think that you are saying that when we have this quality of the inner,
Hmm.
we can always connect if we are aware, let's say. And
Yes.
uh, and I'm wondering about the Rosh Chodesh, the
Hmm.
beginning of the month, the new moon, and the cycles, because it seems to me that it's not. You already told us it's not this or that, but is the both things we have to manage, right? It's like
Yes.
be aware to the holidays, but also be aware that any moment we can connect.
Hmm.
Could you say something about this?
Yes, something, yes. Um, in a way, every moment in time and space is like the patriarchs in us, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in us. Grace, overcoming, and Tiferet, the beauty of the tree, is in us. Or day one, day two, and day three of the creation are in us. This is in a way in time and space, and at at the same moment that we experience the manifested here through Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob in us, we can also see behind the curtain and connect with the Word, with Moses. And then we have the unification of the 4 letters of the Tetragrammaton, because Abraham is with the letter Yod of the Tetragrammaton, Isaac is with the letter He of the Tetragrammaton, Jacob is with the letter Vav, and Moses is with the last letter He, so to speak, beyond the Jordan River. There is a separation. The Jordan is the separator between time and space and the eternal. So we experience things as here in time and space like the patriarch in the land of Canaan, the moon, but with our daily experience in time and space, we can see also the eternal, and this is the connection, and this is like going out of the form, because we are through the connection with the Word. Uh, there is an option to break through the form, through time and space. Does it make any sense?
Yes.
Mhm. This is why there is a deep, very deep text in Aramaic, opening of Elijah, Pticha. Petach Eliyahu or Ptichat Eliyahu. This is the text that opens also the book of Zohar. This is a very high text. And in this text, there is this prayer of the Kum Ra'aya Meheimana, wake up or stand up, the loyal shepherd, referring to Moses, and wake up the patriarchs who are sleeping in Hebron. Only when the spirit of the lawful shepherd, the loyal shepherd Moses, arises, and this the spirit of the Messiah, he is the Messiah. He's the one who speaks. And when he says, Kum ra'aya mehemana, wake up or stand up, or the spirit like stands like a man who's standing, like a tree, and wake up the patriarchs who are sleeping in the city of Hebron, and take out the how do you say, ashes which are covering their eyes. And this is not a speech of historical patriarchs, but the elements who are sleeping in us. Like if we are sleeping and not awake, it's like we are in a grave. So there is a question from Moses to come beyond time and space, and to wake those who sleeping in time and space. Yes, patriarch need alarm clock. Yes, yes, it's simple. So when Moses, the spirit of Moses comes, and this beautiful borderline that you made between the Vav and the Hey could be configured, it can be configured also as the Jordan River, the separator. And when the spirit of the timeless comes to time, it can wakes all the dead elements in us, because in us we have many, many dead elements. And we need the spirit to wake up those dead elements. And when we connect the Hey Moses with the three letters in us, we have, in a way, of revelation. This is why this text is opening the book of Zohar.
Amazing. It's just to go in, uh, just amplifying a little bit. We can also always think that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and also Moses are quality within us. Like Abraham is related with the positive aspect, the giving
Yes,
aspect. Could you say the main ideas that we have to awake relating with each one of the patriarchs?
yes. Abraham is the flow, the unconditional. He always active. Uh, he doesn't respond. He always initiate and go forward. In the biblical story, he's always moving from Ur Kasdim to Haran, and from Haran to Lebanon to the ladder of Tzor, and from the ladder of Tzor to Shechem, and from Shechem to Bet El and the Ai, and he is proceeding Egypt, and he's going to Gerar, and he is moving to Beersheba. Always on the move, always, always, never sit still. Also, so this is and also with the letter Yod, the covenant of, that represent the covenant between heaven and earth. So Abraham in us is the one who is unconditional and moves and gives, and associated with the light, with warm, with fire, active, active quality in us. And Isaac in us is a passive quality in us, the one who sits and everybody's moving, and he's just agreeing, agreeing to marry Rebecca, agreeing to be sacrificed, and so on. This is Isaac. The book of Zohar does not speak so much about of Isaac. And the interesting part of this is that Jacob, because Jacob is a middle line between both of them. So he, as a middle line, he's also how do you say, conceiving the opposites. And he, as a matter of fact, he also gained another name. He has two names: the name that he was born in with Jacob, and the name he gained in a way is similar to Abraham. But Abraham, just in the life of Abraham, we find just another additional letter, hey. But in Jacob, we have completely transformations of letter from Yaakov, from the heel, the lowest part of the human body that touches the ground, to Israel, head, li rosh, I have a head. So he is a completely very interesting figure. Also, he is married. He is binded with four elements, like two wives and two maids and 12 children, and very, very interesting. So Jacobinus is the most complex, I would say, aspect that we have inside of us, Jacob. Because as Jacob is the Vav, the hook, what do we do? This heaviness of 4 seasons, of 12 children also represent the 12 months of the year, or the aspect of time. So what do we do with the aspect of time? Does time manage to separate us from the eternal, or the Vav, the hook, is hooking us to the eternal? So to express, you ask, how are those names or qualities are reflected in us? And Moses in us is the one who is beyond in time and space. It's just like a hovering camera. He sees all of this, not impressed, I would say, not conditional. I hope I answered a bit your question.
Yes, thank you.
Like, Marcus, if I understood well now your question, I try to answer. What is more important, a man or what Elohim taught through that man? I would say that Marcus's writing time is simply the perception of progression. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe, Marcus, what you are trying to say, and maybe what I'm trying to answer, it's not clear, that us as people, as persona, different personas, one is in Sweden, another one is in Belgium, another one is in Timbuktu. It doesn't matter in which persona we are born into. I mean, different cultures, schools, it doesn't matter. What is matter, how the spirit works in us, I would say. If I answer your question, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter what names do we have, what cultures, because this is what the time is asking, to have a persona, an image, a CV, an address, a database on paper. This is not so much important. What is important is the walk of the Spirit in us. If this is your question is about, I'm not sure. You can correct me.
Where is Marcus?
On YouTube chat, there's a
Oh,
streaming.
okay.
There's a streaming you can open, maybe if you have a browser.
Okay.
Mhm. Questions from Shelton, Jill, Fernando, Kevin. We have here another person. Mapping Time, The Calendar and Its History by E.G. Richards. It teaches you how the Israelites kept a calendar by the sun, moon, and stars, not by, yes, Gregorian calendar. Very good. Yes, that's true. Thank you for the book. Thank you for the book. There is another, it reminds me, this comment here uh, on YouTube chat, that there is another book by Yohanan Masora, a person who was born in Germany and his mother tongue is German, and he was exposed to Weinreb's writing both in German and in Dutch, and he wrote a book based on a Weinreb archive in Zurich and on the archive that Dieter from Germany opens to us. And he wrote a book named Hebrew Astrology. And in this way, thank you, Andre. Here is the link on the chat for the Amazon book. And he brings Weinreb's finding about Hebrew astrology, because Weinreb speaks about two types of I'm sorry, astrology according to the writing and speeches of, thank you, Andre, for of Friedrich Weinreb, because Weinreb exhibits or describes the two kinds of astrology. The Babylonian astrology, as we know it on newspapers, is when people will get married, when it's best time to make money. What Weinreb calls the Babylonian astrology, how to utilize everything. This is the tree of knowledge. And he also show Hebrew astrology, which is absolute. And this is a manifestation of the tree of life. The Hebrew astrology is the manifestation of the tree of life, or reflects the tree of life. And the Babylonian astrology, what everybody now is familiar with, and in the other books, is the Babylonian astrology, or expression of the tree of knowledge to utilize everything. So if you're interested, Yohanan wrote a beautiful forward, how do you say, opening to the book. And he said that English is not his first language, and he was overcoming himself just to make it accessible to the open public, that people will know the truth. So whenever you have time, you can look at it. You can read it. It's only cost 99 cents. 99 cents. So, questions? Jill?
I don't have any questions right now. Thank you. I'm learning a lot from listening to you guys.
Thank you. Shelton, questions, impressions?
I don't have any at this time, Eddie, but thank you so much for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, impressions, questions?
It seems I have one coming.
Yes,
I it it seems like I get full of questions as soon as I leave.
that's good.
Sometimes, um, but yeah. So as soon as it develops, then I will share it.
Hmm.
I would like to share from last night. It was a beautiful moment with my oldest daughter.
Hmm.
She came home and she was crying, and she was letting us know that it was the first time she experienced, um, like you were talking earlier, this moment, and when you have a sudden connection with the one, and uh, it both scared her and made her happy, and she was sharing that, and it was just such a beautiful moment. So I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Questions, Fernando?
I have one random question, but it's very random. It's I was just reading the book of Zohar, and once you mentioned in the Tikkunei Zohar,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
I do not have the Tikkunei HaZohar. I only have the one edition that tries to get the ancient Zohar, let's say, or something like this. Uh, could you say what means the Tikkunei Zohar? What we can find in this book? And
Mm. Tikkun Zohar, there are three corpuses of the book of Zohar. There's in general there's a literature called Zohar. What we think is one book, the book of Zohar, is a completely literature, libraries of books. So we call it Zohar. We think it's a one book, but it's like halls of books. It's a literature. And in this literature, there is like a distribution of three spiritual levels. Let's call it like this. There is a regular Zohar. Is one spiritual height, I would say, and there is Zohar Chadash, like a new Zohar. It's above the regular Zohar, and there's a Tikkun Zohar, Zohar corrections, and this is the highest of highest. Did I answer your question?
yes,
Yes,
I
this
will
all.
search for. Yes.
Yes, this is conversations. Why Tikkun Zohar is the highest? Because the discussions there about the biblical verses are relying on former understanding of the Zohar and Zohar Hadash, the new Zohar, and Tikkun Zohar is what is added because they're continuing to penetrate the infinite. There's a penetration on the Zohar, and there's another penetration in new Zohar, a new level of penetration to the infinite, and it comes to Tikkun Zohar, the correction of the Zohar, even deeper. So the inner you go, the deeper you go, is the highest you go. Makes sense?
Yes.
And it is
Now I am now I am worried because only the first
why?
Zohar for me it's too much. I
Yes.
cannot believe the rest. Yes.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. As yeah, Kevin mentioned, when the daughter comes at home and does something, and slowly, slowly with those things, and the window is open, and then the curtains is open, and it's very important to be in communication, not to be afraid, but to communicate and hope that there is a person who can listen, who can accept this development, because sometimes people go through those moments and they come and naively share, and in their surrounding everybody thinks that they are went off, and they don't accept it. So it's very good that when children or how do you say, students, when they are exposed to those moments, that they have a reliable surrounding around them, and loving, that can accept this. Because in some cases it happens and those children are being rejected. So, or so it's very important that When people experience those moments, they have friends or some kind of surrounding that can support this spiritual growth that they're experiencing. So, what I was trying to say, maybe through this last relation to Fernando and what Kevin shared, is that if we can, in some aspect, supply or support uh, people who are being awakened or looking or searching, this is wonderful. This is a great gift to be in communication with people who are interested in walking with the Spirit.
Yes, and it's very similar to crossing a river,
Yes, yes.
and it's like when when you get in the river, you know,
Mhm.
it, the water splits, and you know, like as I've had conversations with my daughter, and she was sharing with me in tears last night that you say these things, and I want to experience what you experience and completely understand, because I know that you're speaking not from just something that you know in your mind, but something that you experience. And she said, I want that, and I don't understand why it's not like that for me yet, you know. And I was encouraging her and just saying, I was telling her how many years I was pursuing and laboring and, you know, thinking that it's this or it's that or it's this step or it's this little thing. and 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 the whole work is within you. Everything that we work on in this world, in the physical, is a shadow, and it's to the spark, the inner sparks, to ignite, to help us turn inward, and um, you know, and I in this moment was so precious because I'm like, I reminded her, I'm like, think of in the scriptures, you know, think of how many times the Lord spoke or appeared to certain individuals. It was very few times. Those are precious moments, and and I'm like, you know, just it's more simple than we make it, but we make it complicated because we only know the complicated in the beginning, the material, the mechanical. We want to mechanize everything and have a perfect formula, you know.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. Must be beautiful, Kevin. And I totally agree with you because I feel the same, you know. Nowadays, I am really thinking about this. And I think it is as well. Like the structure and to leave the structure as well, just to leave the the present moment. It is all.
Mm-hmm.
And to be in
Yes, it's
relationship, to be in relationship, not trying to put in a box the ideas, just to be in relationship even with the ideas.
mm-hmm. what uh, what is so such a I can't say, I don't want to say complicated, but I don't know another word for it, but it's I guess I like the word Eddie uses with high. It's a very high work, I guess I could say, but the you know, it's very counterintuitive to turn inward into the darkness to bring in the light. You know, it's not. That's, you know, in this in the other, you know, Yeshua says, rejoice when you suffer. Um, that's very counterintuitive. When you go inward to ask for judgment and for being exposed is very counterintuitive, you know, and yet that's the very um, place that we see that you know we enter. You know, it's to completely be exposed, and you know, there was a time when I just did not want to leave like prayer. I did not want to leave the meditation, um, physical, like mechanical meditation of prayer and the Lord, you know, and I was upset, and I'm like, I have to operate in this world, you know, like, but I cannot leave, and and uh, and he says, in my heart, he says, I will brush by you. You have me. I will brush by you. I I he is the one who found me in the beginning, and he will continue to find me when I lose my view of the horizon. And I just share that as for those, and you know, where we so desperately want something, and we just should remember that at the same time, in this physical body, um, it's He who awakens us in every moment as gifts, like the sweet smelling aroma in spring when you're walking down the road and you just smell that beautiful smell it, and it captivates your heart.
True.
But it's but we still move forward, and we still work towards it, and we still practice, like with our relationships of our friends, and you know, those of us who have a spouse, you know, you can't let one person always clean the dishes. You practice, you balance, bring balance. You have to, the mechanical trains the hidden,
Hmm.
and then vice versa.
Yes. This is the relation of Jacob and Leah and Jacob with Rachel, in a way. We are like the Vav, yeah,
Yeah.
the letter Vav, and then we want to stay in meditation or in prayer or in dream or there, Sham, there, where the soul is. But also we are here, so we have to not that we are just have those two dimensions or maybe many more, but we operate in the mechanical. It's not just mechanical, but it has a relation to the higher. It's not like separated things. There is a question here. Is not the resurrection of the dead to glorify bodies in Old Testament? You know what's the resurrection here? There is a question about the resurrection of the dead in the New Testament. What is the resurrection of the dead? It's not speaking on the bones or in the grave. What people think about is like plastic, like a movie. We are dead if we are not awakened to the spirit, and the resurrection of the dead is that we are. It's a miracle that the, the spirit works in us, and we are just how do you say? get resurrected. Is it clear?
May I add?
Yes.
May I add to that? Is the time when Yeshua said, um, "God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's the God of the living, not the God of the
Mhm.
dead."
Mhm. There is a prayer that says that in the book of prayer, Chilutz Atzamot, Chilutz Atzamot, to rescue the bone. Chilutz Atzamot, to rescue the bones. But it's not about the bones, like physical bones. The word Atzamot is also Atzmut, is the essence, to rescue or to release the essence in us, the one. This is what we are praying for, that the one will pop up from the four to unleash, like what Shelton says, to unleash the potentials. This is Chilutz Atzamot, to rescue the bones, but not the bones, but to rescue the essence. There is an essence in us, like in a way, a sleeping essence, a spring, and we're trying to awake, to have relations with the essence and to awake ourselves. Yes, yes.
Amazing. Eti, I know that we passed our time,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe for another day, if you
Mm-hmm.
could say, now that you mentioned, came to my mind. I appreciate what Kevin said because I totally agree, and what you just said. But came to my mind the Psalms 91, that it says that when Moses was going to heaven, he was reading this psalm. I don't know. I think I read it on Lusato's writing,
Mm-hmm.
and in the uh, one of the last verses, I think that is the 14th verse.
Mm-hmm.
It says that I found it here, if I may read.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Because, because he had set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he had known my name. Uh, and I think that Lusato translated this a little different, because he do not says that because he had known my name, but he has said like because he remembers my name or something like that. I don't know if it's properly translated from the Hebrew,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or he asked for my name or something like this. He says that could be written. I've seen that as Yada. Yada, it's to know the
Mm-hmm.
name. But if you could say, what does it mean to know the name, or to be in relationship with this, to seal the conversation, or to next time, wherever you wish it.
What is to know the name? Is to have a recognition of the infinite. Again, let's see the verse. I put a link in the chat box on YouTube if you can open. This is Psalms 91, verse 14. Ki bi chashak va'afaltehu, because he loved me or wanted me, and I gave him a rescue. By the fact that the infinite wants me, I rescue the infinite. Asagavehu, I will set him on high. Ki yadashmi, because he had known my name. I will. set him on high because he had known my name. Because there is a deep communication between the infinite to us. And here the psalm says, Ki Adashmi, he turns to me in intimate, the most intimate way. He knows my name. So like we turn to a person, Mr. John, and he says yes, and we speak to him like face to face because he turns, this is John, and there's a, in the same manner, the infinite knows our name, and there's like very intimate relation. And as a consequence from this infinite relation with us, we are bringing uh, the recognition of the high because we want to share this intimate relation. So only people who experience this intimate relation with the infinite can bring it forth, bring it high, return it back. Does it make any sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Why does Luzzato and Luria and Weinreb wrote this immense literature? Luria by a student, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Why do we have those immense literature about those intimate relations? Those people experience this very, very intimate relation and they bring it in writings as evidence to what, um, how intimate it is possible to be with the infinite while being here in time and space. Why do we learn from those books? Why do we learn Vaina ben Luria and Zohar and Nutsato? Because those people, or they're still souls, they're communicated. I mean, they're communicating to us all the time, but they left in their special lifetime on Earth. They left a documentation of this intimate relations. It's possible because they experience such an intimacy. They bring it forth in literature to tell us it's possible in a lifetime on Earth to experience the eternal. And when we experience this deep, intensive, intimate relation, we wish to bring it to the world as a share, as a gift. So we got a gift. It's not ours. This is like Isaac. We are bringing, it's not our personal child, this experience. This is, we are sharing with the world. This is what he wants to say here.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome. Shalom, Joseph Eisman. Hello, hello. So I'm very happy that all of us came and participate in this beautiful conversation. Today is Thursday. We shall see if tomorrow will be a meeting. I'm not sure. I shall communicate to you by Slack or Twitter and see where this is going to lead. But it seems that it is taking in a way, I would not say form, but a stream that we are having this communication, sound communication on Twitter, and we can stream the written content on YouTube that people can see, can hear, can learn, and can communicate via chat. So I would like to thank all of you who participate in this beautiful, beautiful innovation. Those who listen, those who write, those who um, communicate systems, all of you, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eti. Thank you, friends.
Thank
Shalom, shalom.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you.
you.
Shalom,
See you.
everyone. Thank you,
See you.
Eti.
See you.
Shalom.
Thank you. Bless you.
Thank
Bye.